Hey guys, GutlessGamePirates here, highly unlikely hero. Today, I'm going to do on the potential and the possibilities that they could go for in a sequel to the Breath of the Wild. So you guys remember how the last Direct was a Smash Direct back in August? And how we got absolutely no news on another Zelda development starting, other than the one back in December when they said, hey guys, we're done making Zelda DLC. Woohoo! Yeah. A lot of us fans are still waiting to hear more about that. And I know it's a big leap, but I was kind of hoping to hear something this September 6th for approaching the holiday season. And I decided, with this September 6th Direct being pushed back due to earthquakes in Japan, I thought this would be a great time to go over what they could do with all the assets they've used in Breath of the Wild. What they could do with those to make a new Zelda game. Now, I think one of the best games of all time is Ocarina of Time. And they reuse a lot of those same assets to make Majora's Mask just a little under a year later. And I like to think about all the great things they could do with that same concept with Breath of the Wild. Majora's Mask had a fleshed out story, it had fleshed out its assets and its materials and its mechanics, and it made a great game. So I decided I would do an analysis, figuring out what they should change, what they should keep, and what they should add to the new Zelda game. Alright guys, let's do this! I know a lot of people might be weary of my wishful thinking of some news of a new Zelda game already, but if you look at another game from the series that was praised from both fans and critics alike, Ocarina of Time, we got a sequel just a year later in the form of Majora's Mask. They reused a lot of the same assets, but I believe this would be a smart move for Breath of the Wild, as it didn't exactly have the most fleshed out game models and textures. The enemy models had no variety and sucked! Yeah. Sorry about that. Now, I know many people didn't like how there were pretty much just 12 enemy types in the whole game, but you have to remember that these enemy characters can use any weapon. Any weapon. Do you know how many weapons there are in this game and how many different types there are in this game? So that means they can use bows, spears, staffs, two-handed swords, and clubs, and one-handed weapons that can also use shields. Not to mention the different elemental types of these kind of weapons they can use. So that kind of means that there's about 62-ish different enemies, not including difficulty types. This isn't to say that we don't need more enemy variety. I mean, the models, come on. They're still repetitive. But at least they're not trash. So I didn't really take into account the stall versions of these characters. Not that that would really change anything, but they do change the gameplay a little bit. I mean, they are undead after all. Wow, look at that rad Zabagoblin and his crew. He's so cool. Ha! Huh. Looks like I win. Oh. Well, that's not good. No, you're supposed to be dead, Carl, you lied! Oh yeah, and I also forgot about the main enemies in the game. You know, the Guardians. I mean, those long-legged creatures that are roaming around Hyrule fields all times of day and night. You have to remember, one hit from these guys, and you're pretty much dead. That makes me want to pretend that I'm Solid Snake on a cover-up. With Breath of the Wild being a huge step for the Zelda series, I think there were a few things it did right, and it should continue using these concepts. First of all, let's go with that gorgeous open world. It's amazing, the places to explore, the towns to see. It's just absolutely breathtaking. Get it? Breath of the Wild, breathtaking. Ha! As you travel to all these new places, the map records this, and it can actually show you the exact places you've been to and how many times, within a certain amount of game time anyways. When you first walk out of the Shrine of Resurrection, you are greeted with the luscious landscape that is Hyrule, and this is something to keep. The exploration aspect is amazing. If anything, I would say make the world smaller for the next game, so they can focus more on story. But the player needs that sensation of adventure. Shrines. Well, hot dog, there's a lot. The game has 120. But shrines are a driving force to explore the world, and that's it. Without shrines, there wouldn't have been nearly as much of a reason to go out and check out your surroundings. If it weren't for my search for shrines, I probably wouldn't have seen all the cool places that I had. Like the Lord of the Mountain, or even Lorellan Village. Because, you know, I wasn't too big in the rainforest area, for reasons. The special abilities. Where to begin with those? Who doesn't like the ability to stop time with the stasis room? It's so much fun! You can freeze any enemy or object in time, and then rack up damage and knockback to send them flying or KO them. Oh, the power I have.
Get back, Zelda!
The other runes are pretty cool too, like the Magnesis rune, which allows you to hit enemies with metallic objects, or the ability to create ice columns from a body of water. These are all kind of nifty and allow you to look at circumstances and attacking enemies from a different angle. Of course, there is ability to also slow down time when using a bow in the air. It's just so satisfying when you launch off your horse or jump off a cliff and you just aim in the air and then you release. It's all over soon. But this also creates a sense of urgency, as you only have so much time in the air before stamina runs out. Then there's also the perfect deflect and the shield bash. These allow you to reflect any damage done to you to either stun your enemies or to hit energy beams from guardians back at them. But this is kind of negated by Daruk's protection, which of course leads me to the next part. The champion's abilities. What's not to love? Mipha's Grace is essentially a 1-up, Rivali's Gale allows you to ascend upward quickly, Urbosa's Fury shoots thunder from the high heavens above, and strikes the lowly beings of the mortal realm. And then there's Daruk's protection. A little less cool than the previous two, but that's because it requires next to no skill to use. And if you're already amazing at shield bashing, it doesn't really help you at all. Now all of these abilities are really cool. I'm not saying Nintendo should keep them all from the next game, but they're definitely a stepping stone in the right direction. And I think at least some of them, like the stasis room, should really stay in. Not that I'm biased at all. The combat. Oh, the combat. So many loved it, and then there was a lot who hated it. But I think it works. I mean, the variety in weapons is just astounding. I mean, they let you fight with a spoon in a pot lid. And you know what? That's great, because that means I get to be Master Chef Link. Alright boys, where are we dropping? I say we go to a Call of Wild.
Savage Link, in position.
I, Mighty Link, am in position. Alright boys, I'm gonna take him out. Ha! Take that ladle to the face.
Hey y'all, Farmer Link here. I'm here to clean up duty. Ha! Don't worry about me, guys. I'm doing just fine.
Cook! No!
I don't know what. Oh! What?
How dare you! I'm gonna kill you for that! Wait. No!
No! My boys! Jeez, y'all suck more than a pack of dingoes.
You know what? The ladle could use some work. I do believe the combat can be fleshed out more, so each type has more use, like the spears not breaking every time you throw them. That always felt so cheap to me. I mean, come on Nintendo, the whole point of a spear is to be reusable. When you throw a spear, you don't want it to break. It's not the point. So yeah, to reiterate, I think there is a lot that the game did right, but it still has imperfections. And so next time, I'm going to analyze all the things that should be changed, or just outright removed. But that's all the time I got for this week's episode. I mean, it did take a whole lot longer than I initially thought, and the video is also longer than I had originally planned. So hey guys, make sure to tune in the next week or two, and I'll have the second part of this video put up. But in the meantime, we do have other videos going up. My good friend Swampy Rooster is doing walkthroughs. He does walkthroughs of indie games, free games, or any other games that really spark his interest, like Neverwinter or Destiny, so please make sure to check out those. And we will also have a group video going up at least once a week. Alright guys, this is the GutlessGamePirates, highly unlikely, signing out.